Two Chairs No Waiting, episode number 696, Fun Around Town. Two Chairs No Waiting is brought to you each week by the fine folks over at WeaversDepartmentStore.com. Drop by over at Weavers and check out some of the amazing things they have over there. Got some brand new things you can pre-order right now. It's going to be available August 29th of 2022. Becoming Thelma Lou, My Journey to Hollywood, Mayberry, and Beyond. There's a great book. You can get a hardcover or a softcover edition. Go over there and pre-order it and get it now. While you're there, you might want to check out the new Mayberry tea towel. It's got all kinds of Mayberry fun stuff on there. Head over to WeaversDepartmentStore.com and check it out. Two Chairs No Waiting is also brought to you by donations from listeners like you. The executive producer of episode number 696 is Lynn Thomas. So, Lynn, thank you for supporting the podcast, and thank you for being here as well. It's always you're what makes it fun, being able to talk to you here in Mayberry about Mayberry. So we're going to do a little bit of fun around town because that's where I've been. I've been running around town. This past weekend, we were finishing up the Mayberry Man, the series Indiegogo campaign. So I know some of you may or may not know about that or may not realize about it, but there's a Mayberry Man movie that I'm in as Floyd. That's in background right there behind me if you're watching the video version. But hopefully you've seen it. Well, they're going to do a series about it. So we were having some fun over in up in Indiana, up in Indiana this past week. And wow, what a great time over there. We did a show or showed a screening of Mayberry Man. Terry Varvel brought the car from the movie. He brought it out for us to enjoy there at the Can Theater in Indianapolis. And then we watched the movie, and then we headed over to the hotel and got around in there for it's called a table read. So it was a lot of fun. So you've heard us talk about that with the Andy Griffith Show. They go around and they get the script and they sit around the table and read the script. The actors do. So we were doing something like that for Mayberry Man, but we actually streamed it live. And Court Howell was there doing the streaming. He was doing all the technical work. Stark was leading us through the actual scenes, and we were sitting in there. We had gotten the script for the first or the scenes that we were going to be doing maybe 10 minutes before we actually started doing the show. So we were reading it pretty cold, but we had a great time. It was myself and Ashley Elaine, who does Kate in the Mayberry Man series. And we had Chris Bowman there doing, he's Gomer in the series or in the movie as well. And then we had Terry Varvel and Tanya Varvel. They were there doing multiple roles. Terry is our Barney Fife tribute artist that goes around to Mayberry events with us all over the place performing. Matter of fact, we'll be over in Troy, Ohio on the 12th of August. So if you can make it there, that'd be great. We'd love to have you come out on that Friday. We're going to be performing with Baraka Valley and have a whole bunch of tribute artists there having a great time. But he was filling in. He happens to be Brett Varvel's uncle, and Brett is the lead character in the Mayberry Man movie and in the series. So he was reading Brett's part. You know, we could barely tell the difference. I mean, they look so similar. So we had a great time doing that, and just and then actually what we got to do after it was over, we were able to actually do a little bit of the series. So we got to do like an entire episode of the Mayberry Man, the series, the first episode. So we got to find out what was going on. It's the first time I'd seen anything about it. The scripts aren't actually finished. So we're really looking forward to being able to get in there and check out what happens to these characters that, again, it's not a remake of the Andy Griffith Show. It's just got that same feel. And of course, we're huge fans of the Andy Griffith Show. The people that are the characters that are in the series are big fans of the Andy Griffith Show. So it's us, it's you, people that listen to this podcast. It's the series, the movie is about us. That's what it's about. So I hope you'll enjoy it. But anyway, I just wanted to give you a rundown a little bit about what happened. So we did that on Friday night, and I thought it went really well. If you go out on Facebook, actually YouTube as well, and look for the Mayberry Man movie page, either on Facebook or on YouTube, you can watch that, and I think you'll enjoy it. It was a lot of fun. Then the next day, we were over at the Royal Theater and had a street festival, and several folks showed up. There were some nice old classic cars there. We had a great time just visiting and visiting with fans and doing a little bit of Mayberry stuff. We got out. We were also, that was a wrap up completely for the Mayberry Man, the series. Henry Bennett showed up at that, and he was there. And so it was good to have Rick. He's usually in our chat room. I don't know if he made it tonight, but he was there with us. Baraka Valley was there. And that's one of the things I wanted to show you guys tonight is Baraka Valley. So I think you're going to enjoy this. Now, Baraka Valley is in the Mayberry Man movie, and they do a lot of the bluegrass music, or all the bluegrass music, I guess. It's in the Mayberry Man movie. And they were performing out here and allowing the tribute artist to play around with them. Now, I should have had a video of Eric Lowry, who plays Mayor Pike, or the mayor, basically the character of the mayor for us at Mayberry events all over the place. He was great. He has a mandolin. He was singing with them. He was doing all kinds of stuff. But this is, you get a line, I get a pole. And this is, at least at the beginning, features me, because we didn't get it started right at the beginning. But check this out. This is Baraka Valley with the tribute artist stepping in and having them sing. So let's check this out here. Well, is it going to, I think we're going to check it out. Yeah, here we go. There you go. So, of course, this song is from the Andy Griffith Show. So, here's Floyd.
Gotta come Barney with a bullet in his pocket, honey. Gotta come Barney with a bullet in his pocket, babe. Gotta come Barney, we better go head on down to the bar and oh, honey, baby mine. Get a line, I'll get a pole, honey. You get a line, I'll get a pole, babe. You get a line, I'll get a pole. We'll go down to the bar and oh, honey, baby mine.
So again, this is from the Andy Griffith Show. If you don't realize that the mayor is playing along too on mandolin in this. I hope you're enjoying it. I think Barney's got a verse now.
Here comes go Rouge, yellow citizens arrest, honey. Here comes go yellow citizens arrest me. Here comes go yellow citizens arrest. You just go up an alley and haul a fish, honey, baby. Get a line and I'll get a pole, honey. You get a line, I'll get a pole, baby. You get a line, I'll get a pole. We'll go down the road and home, honey, baby.
So we're so thankful for Baraka Valley letting us goof around and play around with them. They're going to be with us August 12th in Troy, Ohio. Actually, we'll be with them. But y'all come on out and see us.
Young man sack on the back, honey. Young man sack on the back, baby. Young man sack on the back, I can call it back, honey, baby mine. You get a line, I get a pole, honey. You get a line, I get a pole, baby. You get a line, I get a pole. We'll go down and draw that hole, honey, baby mine.
So there we go. Great Mayberry music being played live on the streets right out in front of the Royal Theater in Danville, Indiana, the home of Mayberry in the Midwest.
What you gonna do when the well runs dry, honey? What you gonna do when the well runs dry, baby? What you gonna do when the well runs dry? Sit on the bank with the crawdads fly, honey, baby mine.
know it. If you look in the background, if you're watching the video version, Gomer's playing the guitar too.
Sing along with us. You can line out and fall, babe. You can line out and fall. We'll go down the broad and home, honey. Baby mine.
Sorry, I came in here a little late, but I just thought of another verse there we could have done. Yeah. You go to Indiegogo, honey. You go to Indiegogo, babe. You go to Indiegogo and sponsor Mayberry Man the series, honey, babe.
So that was Terry Varvel as Barney, and what a great time. We just have a great time, guys. Anytime we're together doing one of these Mayberry events, it's just so much fun. We're able to just visit, laugh and cut up and smile. And I really encourage you, if you're in the area, come and see us. We're going to be, as I said, Danville, Indiana, not Danville. We're going to be in Troy, Ohio. That was in Danville. We'll be in Troy, Ohio on the 12th. That's a Friday. So I know some of you have to work, so you might not be able to make it, but it's a Friday evening too. So if you're in the general area, it'll be an evening thing. It starts around 7:30, I believe, 6:30, 7:30. And we're gonna have about an hour and a half show with Baraka Valley and the Mayberry Tributes. And then we're going to watch the Mayberry Man movie when it gets dark, outside, out under the stars. Like a movie under the stars. We thought about making a sign, but we figured everybody'd know that it was a movie. And, well, you know, they'd know it was under the stars. So we just decided to forget the whole thing. But we're going to be there. So y'all come on out with us and enjoy yourself. I hope you will. All right, so we've got some feedback that we've had over the last several weeks, months, that have been on things like Facebook and YouTube. So I wanted to bring in some of that kind of stuff so that you guys could see that. So here's one we got in. It's from Abigail Robinson. She says, I'm currently recovering from surgery, and the Andy Griffith Show has been my comfort along with your podcast, she says. I watched 5 episodes just yesterday. Oh my goodness. I hope she's feeling better. Thank you so much for taking time to write that. That is so nice of you. And I hope you've recovered and are recovering. But I hope you still continue to be able to watch episodes. I assume you watched 5 episodes of the Andy Griffith Show and not of the podcast, because, I mean, that would be rough. I don't know, especially if you're watching it. Listening to me is better than watching, and I look better in lower resolution. That's what I always do. So thank you, Abigail. Thanks for taking time. And we have another one. This one is from Jennifer. And this is actually reference to a podcast episode I did. It was episode number 515, Guest of Honor. That's what it's about. It says, and she's referring to, in this particular case, the scene where Barney is trying to induct Floyd and the 2 other gentlemen as deputies in their, Floyd's numbers. It says 3 is that badge. So Jennifer says it took Don Knotts 20 takes. He couldn't stop laughing when Floyd would yell it, nip it, if you'll remember. That's what Floyd. And Don would laugh. And if you actually look in the background, you can see Andy covering his face. He puts his hand over his face so you can't see it. But it says he ends up having to hide his face and turn quickly, talking about Don Knotts. So that is true. That was his favorite episode, Don's favorite episode, Guest of Honor. And he did have a hard time getting through that. He talked about that in I think it was the 25th anniversary special on Turner on TBS. Is when he talked about it. All right, so let's go on to the next one. This is from Kenneth, and he says, this is of, I guess, episode number 691, listener feedback number 46. He says, very awesome video. Love the people who called into the show, and the tribal was a lot of fun. I don't remember what the tribal was. So anyway, but thank you, Kenneth. Thank you. And here's another one he wrote in and said, I love your videos. These videos are so great. The trivia really, the trivia. I bet that's what he said, not tribal. It was trivia. It was misspelled. The trivia really makes you think. The world needs more of this. Looking forward to the next one. Keep them coming. And I agree. I think the world does need more of this type thing, right? So we need more Mayberry stuff. That's one of the reasons we're talking about this Mayberry Man series and movie. So it is so that we can have more Mayberry in the world, right? So I think we do need more of it. We had one more written piece of feedback that I wanted to bring to your attention. And this is from Paul Mulick. He said a caller was asking about the drugstores in Mayberry. You'll remember that from the last couple of episodes. We've been talking about that. He says, besides Walker's and the Franklin Pharmacy, which was the one that the question was about a couple of weeks ago, there is Miss Mason's drugstore, where Barney took his film to be developed in the Great Filling Station robbery. I remember that. Barney takes a great picture. Gomer, he never does. And he said there's also Crawford's, where Opie worked for a while in the color episodes. So there's four drugstores in Mayberry. Or maybe they changed hands over time. I don't know. But so there's four. There's Walker's, Franklin, Mason's drugstore, and also Crawford's. So Paul, thank you very much for writing in with that information. I didn't realize there was that many drugstores in a town the size of Mayberry, but it is, Mayberry's not super little, so maybe they could have more than one. I don't know. There's a CVS and a Walgreens on every corner in every town I go through, so maybe that's the case. All right, so we have some feedback that's also in the form of voice. So we got some voice feedback. This one's from John, so let's hear what he has to say. Let me try that again. I think I have to turn it up or you can't hear it. Let's try. This one's from John.
Hello, Alan. This is John calling from just west of Indianapolis. This past week, your favorite TV show and mine came up in conversation twice with some of my family members. On Tuesday, I asked my brother and his wife if they had heard that Tony Dow passed away. My sister-in-law remarked that she was aware of but had never seen Leave It to Beaver. She said that I Dream of Jeannie and Bewitched had been the extent of her black and white TV show viewing. I said, hold on a minute, you've never seen the Andy Griffith Show? She answered, nope, only so many hours in the day, John. In that instant, I genuinely felt sorry for her, but I was also a bit perturbed knowing all the modern-day shows that she and my brother have binge-watched during their 21 years of marriage. So fast forward to yesterday, Sunday, I was on the phone with my other brother. He tells me that earlier in the day, he and the first brother I mentioned had driven the short distance to Danville for the Mayberry Man, the series, open screen tests. The brother whose wife has never seen the Andy Griffith Show actually auditioned, had a great time, and apparently was a bit of a ham, as is his custom. I, meanwhile, didn't know anything about the happenings in Danville and Indy ahead of time. I watch probably 5 to 10 episodes of the Andy Griffith Show every week, but regretfully I've let myself get way behind on Two Chairs No Waiting, not to mention all the recent news regarding Mayberry Man. So, as with my sister-in-law, the only so many hours in the day attitude caused me to miss out. I encourage everybody, keep your priorities straight and don't get behind on Mayberry. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed your weekend here in Indiana. My brother told me he saw Court Howell and Stark Howell at the Royal Theater, as well as, quote, the guy who plays Floyd the Barber, unquote. Thanks, and have a great Mayberry week.
Wow, thank you so much for taking the time to record that. That was a great recording, by the way. He sent me an actual MP3 file, so it sounded really good. So just in, as he's talking to me, I got a message from... let's see if I can...
Hey, how you doing? Hey, come on down to the Royal Theater. We're going to be showing Mayberry Man. We got cars on the street. And I'm giving a haircut sale, too. Oh, come on down and we'll see you here. You don't want to miss seeing Mayberry Man. Oh, yeah, come on out and support us. Come on.
Yeah, that's Floyd. And that was just in from Court Howell. He just sent me that during the podcast, actually. So thanks, Court, for sending that. And I think I've got some pictures, too, but I've got to get those downloaded. So thanks for sending that. That was actually recorded there in Danville, and they had big balloons there that actually said haircut sale. And so Floyd got his picture or got a video shot there, and that's a video you heard, or audio if you're just listening to it. But anyway, so yeah, you missed out. You really missed out on that one, John, being there for the thing. I'm sorry you missed out, because I know I talked about it on the podcast, so I don't know. I can't get the word out any better. I'm not sure what to do here. So we'll try to do better and make sure people know that things are available and things are there. But we did have a great time. We had everything there from we had a loaded goat, by the way. I don't know if you knew that. There was a loaded goat there, and Barney was playing his harmonica to keep him happy and keep the loaded goat from getting upset because it wasn't being tended to. But he did a good job. Barney ended up leading it out of town, and we didn't have no incidents. There was a rumor that he had been eating dynamite, but I'm just not sure. I'm not sure if that was true or not. But we did have a great time in Danville this past weekend, and it's always, as I said, it's always fun being together with our Mayberry friends and just seeing all the fun that's going on at these events. So I really do encourage you. We just recently had an event that was Mayberry Meetup that we talked about, and Sarah is giving us a call talking about that. So let's hear from Sarah.
Hi, Miss Mayberry in the chat room. It was great to see you all. My favorite was watching Mayberry Man movie. I like people telling Mayberry stories. Keep the podcast going. Norm told great stories on the trolley. I love you all.
Thank you, Sarah. It is always good to hear from you. Sarah is in our chat room almost every week, and it's always fun to have Sarah visiting and telling us and calling in. So thank you, Sarah. All right, so we have one last little bit of information I wanted to provide, and this is from Spirit Walker. Now, we've not been returning to Mayberry recently. If you'll recall, if you heard the episodes, Spirit Walker's home was struck by lightning. So it is officially called the Giraffe now, the house, but so is Kenneth Junkins. There's a rash of lightning strikes against Mayberry people. So I'm hoping keep your head down and look out for one another. Just like, those Airedales, they'll watch out for you. But, those other dogs, giraffes running around with their head in the air, they get struck by lightning. Anyway, Spirit Walker's house got struck by lightning. So that's why he hasn't been doing his reports. But he did want to take time to provide an answer to a question. He said, Alan, in episode number 691 of Two Chairs, a listener named Gary asked about the framed picture of the text with the flag underneath. Now, you guys may remember that. It's on the courthouse wall. It's in the courthouse wall. If you walk into the courthouse and look to the right, you have the windows and you have a corner and then the other window, right? It's on that wall right there between the corner where the windows are. There's a thing hanging there that's got a flag on the top, and people were asking what that was exactly. And we had speculated it could be what Spirit Walker's going to say it is. He said it hangs between the two windows to the side of Andy's desk. And he's talking about in the corner, almost right there. He said, you said that most people think it might be a copy of the Pledge of Allegiance. So he says, but it is too blurry, to read, which is true. he said he's going to try to put a rest to that assumption. So if you look, what he sent me was a really good example where he had basically taken the pledge and superimposed it next to the text that's under the flag. So if you actually look at it and lay it out in the same form, so it says, like the first line, you cannot read what's on the actual screenshot of the plaque that's hanging on the wall. But if you look at it, it really looks like it would say, I pledge allegiance. It would be the first line. To the flag is the second line. Of thee is to the flag of thee. And then United States of America is on one line. And to the republic for which it stands. So basically, if you lay it out, and if you're watching the video version, I've got the photos of this, you can tell that it's almost 90 some odd % sure thing that is the Pledge of Allegiance hanging on the courthouse wall. So I want to thank Spirit Walker for taking the time to go and do the research and actually get all that information, because he did a great job providing that. He says it's too blurry to read. However, he's placed it in that format, and I basically paraphrased what he said. And the links of the words and the line breaks match exactly. It really is 99%, 98 at minimum. It is the Pledge of Allegiance, so he put that to rest. So we believe that is exactly what it is. So thank you, Spirit Walker, for providing that information. I believe you are correct. And thanks. So hopefully that answers a question from a couple of weeks ago, too. So hopefully we got all that. All right, let's see. We got a little bit of time. Let's play a little bit of Mayberry Trivia. Y'all want to do that? Let me get some background music, our Mayberry Trivia background music. There we go. So get out your pencils and papers, and let's try some answers. All right, question number 1, true or false question. Opie enjoyed sleeping on an ironing board. Is that true or false? Opie enjoyed sleeping on an ironing board. True or false? Folks in our chat room, let's see what they'll say, but I think I'll read it one more time and I'll give you the answer. Opie enjoyed sleeping on an ironing board. True or false? The answer is true. That is true. Opie enjoyed it. That's adventure sleeping, by the way. All right, number 2. Name the preacher at the Mayberry All Souls Church. Name the preacher. What's the preacher's name at the Mayberry All Souls Church? What's his name? Name the preacher at the All Souls Church. His name is Reverend Tucker. Reverend Tucker. If you said Hobart Tucker, I'll give you that too, because that's his name. Hobart M. Tucker. Reverend Tucker. There you go. All right, number 3. Number 3. No, I can't use that one because I just asked you. I just told you the answer. I'll give it to you and see if you can get it right. What is known as adventure sleeping? If you don't get this right, you weren't paying any attention. What is known as adventure sleeping? All right, I'm not even going to read it a third time. I'm just going to give you the answer. Adventure sleeping is sleeping on an ironing board propped between 2 chairs. If you missed that, I'm extremely disappointed in you. So number 4, Andy worked on a case with a blonde lawyer named what? Was her name, Andy worked on a case with a blonde lawyer named Debbie Jo Alcorn, Lee Drake, Pat Drake, or Lori K. Kinney. Debbie Jo Alcorn, Lee Drake, Pat Drake, or Lori K. Kinney. What was her name? Should have said Paul Drake. That's wrong. Yeah, Paul Drake. That's from Perry Mason, by the way. Andy worked on a case with a blonde lawyer named, it was Lee Drake. Lee Drake was her name. Paul Drake was a Perry Mason's investigator, just so you know. Paul Drake. There you go. Thought you'd want to know that. All right, next, this is number 5. It's true or false. Andy never lost a skeet shoot competition. True or false? Andy never lost a skeet shoot competition. True or false? Andy never lost a skeet shoot competition. The answer is that's false. That's false. He did. He did lose. All right, number 6. I'm so disappointed if you don't get this one. Who bought a car from Mrs. Lash? Who bought a car from Mrs. Lash? So disappointed. I just don't even want to know if you don't get this right, so don't tell me. Who bought a car from Mrs. Lash? Barney. Barney did. Barney bought Mrs. Lash's car. Mert, you know. All right. So we already just did the one about Andy never lost a skeet shooting competition. Who beat Andy in a skeet shoot competition? Who beat Andy in a skeet shooting competition? Who beat her? Who beat her? Who beat Andy? Who beat Andy in a skeet shoot competition? The answer is, I'll take either one. You can say Karen Moore, or you could say Thelma Lou's cousin. I'll give you credit for that. Okay, so if you only knew it was Thelma Lou's cousin, I'll give you credit. Now, I should tell you, if you don't know that the lady who played Karen Moore, Thelma Lou's cousin, she also played Annie Oakley on the Annie Oakley television series. So she might have really been able to shoot a gun, because she played Annie Oakley. All right, here's number 8, our last question. Let's see how you're doing. Wow, some people in the chat room already got this, by the way, and I didn't even ask it yet. What was the year and make of Barney's first car? What was the year and make of Barney's first car? I saw that in the chat room. They were answering that. Wow, they're getting... All right, Barney's first car. I'll give you some multiple choices. What is year and make? Was it a 1954 Ford? Was it a 1955 Chevy? Was it a 1956 Olds? Or was it a 1957 Dodge? What was the year and make of Barney's first car? Okay. The answer is it was a 1954 Ford sedan. Is what the chat room's saying. It was a Ford, 1954 Ford. All right, so how did you do? How did you do? Did you enjoy yourself? Did you have fun? That's really the key, right? A lot of these, like I've always said, these questions for the trivia, they just bring up memories of the Andy Griffith Show every time I read them. So that's one of the reasons I enjoy the trivia, especially these somewhat easier. Someone in the chat room said a 1985 DeLorean. No, I don't think that was correct. As the model. Doc Brown could have gone back in time, I guess, Back to the Future, and done that. So, all right, guys, that is all I have for you tonight. And I want to thank you for being here with me in Mayberry. I would love to hear from you. You can give me a call at 888-684-8415, or you can email me at floyd@imayberry.com. I'd love to hear from you. There's other ways to get in touch with me, but the voicemail is my favorite. So give me a voicemail, or you can leave a voicemail over on twocairsnowaiting.com. There's a way to leave a message right there. Or you can send me an MP3 file like John did. So that worked out really good. Folks, thanks for being here. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. I hope you've learned something about the Andy Griffith Show, learned something, and maybe I've encouraged you to want to be at one of the events. So until the next time we get together, I'll be right here on Two Chairs. Good night, everybody.